On today's Technobabble, types of video for your service.
Is Tech No Babble, your weekly source for church video and graphics news, perspectives, tips, and tricks. And now here's your host, Paul Clifford.
Hi everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Technobabble. I, of course, am your host, Paul Clifford. Hey, join the conversation by emailing me, paul@trinitydigitalmedia.com, or dropping me a line on the voicemail. I always say that. 1-877-763-3246. That's 1-877-POD-ECHO. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, etc., etc., etc. But on Twitter, it's really easy. Paul Allen Cliff, PAULALANCLIF. And that should be able to get you in touch with me. So, without further ado, let's talk about using video in your service, the types of video that you would use. Now, I have a big list. This is just a list of things that I've brainstormed out. And you should know that there are basically three categories of video. You can do broadcast video. Type number one, broadcast video. You can do archival, just recording of the service, not for broadcast, just for recording purposes, video. And you can also do video, well, I guess I'd lump that in with broadcast. You could do IMAG for using video. That's using video to magnify what's going on in real life and making that bigger and more easily seen. Finally, there are pre-produced videos. So most of what I'm going to be talking about are in the pre-produced category. So let's get started about that. The first thing you could do is you could do music videos. Now, we've done this a couple of different ways. One, we've had our own band pre-record the music video on a click, playing it, and then we remove the audio and put that click back in, and then have them perform live with the pre-recorded video. That's really kind of cool to see someone live singing and then see a pre-recorded version of themselves also sing. Very, very cool. Something else that you can do as well, you can, for famous music videos, if you're using some other artist's song, you can do something similar. I don't know about the copyright logistics of that, and sometimes the clicks would get off just depending on the song, so that might be more difficult. Something that we do almost every week is what I call a lyric video, and that is basically, well, the purpose of that is to artistically show what is being sung, so in case someone can't understand the lyrics, you can they can just read along with them. And I think that that's a really fun way to do it as well. Basically, if you take a look at my ProPresenter tutorials, the one where I'm talking about overlaying video over another video, that is a lyric video. I think that was Go Tell It on the Mountain during a Christmas series. Next we have word on the street, man on the street, I've heard them called. Basically, what it is you go out with a camera and a host. We found we got much more luck when we had a female host. That's not sexist. I think it's that people are a little afraid that a guy with a camera is going to ask them to do something bad. Whereas if it's a lady, then it tends to be, they assume not. So, anyway, you ask them a question and then you cut those together. And those can be very interesting. I saw one time where someone asked what grace meant and how few people actually knew. They said, what you say before supper, the name of a lady, a lot of things other than just the free gift of God. So that's something else you can do. Also, story videos. Sometimes a person's testimony, their story, is best illustrated and illuminated by showing some B-roll, showing some stuff from their life before Christ, or their life when they were making poor choices or whatever, in juxtaposition of what God has done in them. So that can be a really... Another thing that we've done to great effect is show movie clips. Now, for a movie clip, you need a special license. There's a good amount of movie clips that you can get a hold of using the CVLI license, Church Video License Incorporated, I think it is. It's cvli.org, I believe is the web address, and you can go there and take a look at their video, what producers they support, because they don't support all of them. And it could be that that's fine for you, depending on your church. Maybe you only want to show Christian content, which is one level of the support. Maybe you're okay with also showing some secular stuff, and you're okay with looking through the producer list to make sure it's covered. Another possibility, by the way, is wing clips. Now, wing clips has the additional piece that when you pay for it, you're paying more per clip, but you're actually getting the clip itself. And if it's on the site and you download it, you're covered, because that's part of the download price. Now, it might be $10 to download the clip, but that's not all that much when you think about how many people you're showing it to. So, it might be $20. I can't remember off the top of my head. But once we've needed wing clips came in handy for us on that. You could also show a drama stage, so dramas filmed be remarkably different from when they are shot live. So that's something else for you to think about and keep in mind. Also, when you shoot video, you can shoot it for a satellite campus. I left that out earlier when I was mentioning the different types of video. One thing we also do are promos for certain ministries. So let's say before the kids camp every year, we can have a promo video where it says, hey, don't forget about this video or don't forget about summer camp coming up. This is when the kids have the most fun and they hear all about Jesus, and just suggest that to them. That would be a good use of part of your kid's summer, and that tends to be very effective. Along that same line, we do an announcement video every week called the 411, where we'll have someone reading the most important announcements, and sometimes that includes a promo video, and sometimes it's just a voiceover, a still, something like that, where it's a little news update like, where the person talks directly into the camera and they say, coming up this week we're going to have the man event, and the man event is going to be on Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. Join us for all kinds of manly fun. Of course, I just did that off the cuff, so it's not as good as it would have been, but that's something else for you to consider as you're thinking about it. Finally, you can use video in your service as teaching. Now, you can save a sermon from a previous occasion for when your pastor is out of town, or when something from the past really, really resonates. But it could also be the case that it's just a snippet of something that was said a long time ago. So your pastor could say, hey, today we're talking about forgiveness, and you'll remember what I said about forgiveness back then. And then he shows the clip, and then when you get back, he could say something like, you might remember that was right before something really bad happened to me that I really needed to forgive about. And so that would be a good opportunity for you to revisit the past and talk about how the past influences the present. And you can do some fun things that way. So those are just a few of the ideas that I had. If you have any other ideas, feel free to share them down below in the comments, or just drop me a line, as I said, paul@trinitydigitalmedia.com, and we can talk about that later. Tomorrow's show is the question and answer show, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them, and I will absolutely address those. And until next time, go out and change eternity.